Hi there, Chris Fox here. I just got off the phone with a good friend of mine, and we were discussing the fact of what it takes to move a car. And I wanted to actually go over this because a lot of people think, oh yeah, just put some paint on it and give it a tune-up and it's good to go. Well, I want to go through this and just show you how difficult it can be to make a car railworthy and some of the criteria that needs to be met before it can be moved, and then the cost value of it. So let's go on a little bit of a tour here. All right, so to start with, Transport Canada states that there cannot be any holes in the car. All right, so you have to go through and look all through the car, all around, and look for holes like this. Okay, glass has to be in place, not cracked. That may sound great and all at first, but I mean, you're gonna have to patch up stuff like that. All right, and there's no end door on this car at all. So the end door, you have to box that up and make it sealed so that you can, it needs to be able to be locked. Okay, handbrakes need to work. It means you have to go through and free up the handbrake, which means on an RDC, it's all this in here. All the chain, all the pulleys, the chain, the spring, the mechanism, and then you have to make sure that all the brakes and the pins in here and here are not seized. And that's to start with. Then you'd have to go through and make sure that the trucks are in good shape, which means you have to find out whether or not something has been lifted or moved or something. Example for this one, the spacers are missing here, the actual spacers. These wouldn't pass. You have to get the spacers. Somebody in the past at Via has just put these in so that they can put them out in the yard. There's supposed to be blocks there. All right, so you go through and you have to check all this. Valves are another thing. All valves, mostly on all cars, need to be replaced, because every 4 years, depending, every 4 years they need to be renewed. Another thing is you got to make sure all the air tanks are in. We're looking at a space here. You can see there's a flange there, there's a flange here, and there's no air tank in here. So you'd have to find a replacement tank. All of this stuff can be done. It's just time and money. Okay, so the engine, the floor pan, I believe, is inside the car, which is fine. That's not a big deal. Other things here are okay. The sanders here, which are broken off here, they would need on this car to be taken off, which isn't that big of a deal. It's just something, But that gives you a bit of an idea of this particular car, right? Stuff like this. I mean, that needs to be either bondoed up or fixed before the railway would haul it. I know in Canada they want to see that anyways, depending how bad the inspector is, and I know some inspectors are really bad on this. So I'm just giving you an idea of what needs to be done, and that's just a quick overview of this particular car that we're looking at here. So there are lots of other things too. You have to do all your wheel profiles, you have to take all your wheel measurements, you have to make sure that all the wheels are within spec, and they also have to be ultrasonically tested, because these wheels haven't turned in forever, so they should be ultrasonically tested to make sure there's no hidden cracks in them. So like I was saying, I wanted to show you this particular car because it doesn't look too bad when you stand back here and you look at it, looks in pretty good shape. The end sills are good. There's no holes in it. There may be a couple of windows that need to be boarded up, but not too bad. But look closer and you'll see some direct damage. Oh, the pilot's just pushed in a little bit. Oh, that's not that bad. Oh no, you can't even lift the cut lever because it's bent in here. This pilot would all have to come off and be straightened, or a new pilot found and put on. As well, the step sills, they're all bent. They need to be straightened. You can see here, it got folded in there, folded up in there. This got folded here. All of this can be fixed. It's just, we have slightly structural damage up under here. So, I mean, there's some ripping on the welds. The center sill is fine. If the center sill was damaged, the car would be scrapped. But this can be fixed. Again, it looks great, but that's a lot of work. And this is just particularly what museums are up against. You know, they pick a car, it needs to be done, it's excellent because, you know, it needs to be historically saved, no problem. But this is just the type of work that needs to be fixed before the railway can move it. If you wanted to take this car and put it on a flatbed truck and ship it, no problem. Again, it's just time and money. Like I was saying, time and money. Well, some people have deep pockets and that's no problem for them. Most of us out here don't have deep pockets. And it's stuff like this. Now this, the bearing cover here has been off for a long time. You can see because it's rusty here. So that bearing has been exposed to the elements for a long time, which means I wouldn't trust that bearing as far as I can throw it, and it's heavy, so I can't throw it very far at all. So the thing is that would need to be changed, which means the wheel would need to be changed. You think not a big deal, right? Okay, you need to either jack the car up and change the wheel. First off, you got to get a wheel, and then you have to jack the car up and take it. If you have a drop tit that you can use, great, no problem. The only other problem with this is that this is the inboard axle on an RDC, so it's the drive axle. So you need an actual drive to find a good drive wheel. Again, not a big deal if you have time and money. So I just wanted to bring that to everyone's attention. Finding a bunch of cars sitting in a yard that could be historically saved, great. I don't have a problem with that. I'm all for it. I think it's absolutely fantastic, and that's why I'm part of this organization. The problem is that it's not as easy as you think. It takes a lot of dedicated people, and I applaud the people that are actually very, very dedicated to this. Thanks for watching.